and the Sara, a whirlwind, and you see the Sarafa, understand the Sierra Mountains and the fiery that is here. And when we look at the Sarafa, right, and the seraphim and the whirlwinds and the Sarah, and understand the chariot of fires and these fire whirlwinds that you see, and understand how Elijah was taken into heaven. When you look at the Sierra and Sierra Nevada and Death Valley and these mountain regions and these heat regions and these fire regions here in California and these mountains of the Sarafa and the Sierra. We look at the beginnings, the book of the beginnings, Genesis, the Bereshit, right? So we look at the beginnings and the beginnings of everything, the beginnings before the sun was the sun. So we understand this order that would form the sun's path. So in the beginnings, God saw the light and that the light was good. So God had to see the light because we understand that all light is not good light, because in the heavens, there's a lying spirit and there's a righteous, upright, Yashar. So we understand through thy precept. So the beginnings, right? The word had to be spoken. So the plowing and the path had to be.
It is more logical to think that this is the reason why we have seasons. If the sun was 93 million miles away, we should very rarely experience temperature differences, better yet, not 4 distinct seasons.
When we look at the land of the dead, you gotta understand the Western Hemisphere and this crossing of 0 degrees where Ghana, Morocco, and this region. These regions were the regions of darkness, especially when you understand the fall and the equinox of the fall. So you must understand that 1492, when you have the fall of the Moors, a lot of these European nations, they would house, right, their heraldry was a melanated heraldry. Understand these saints and these holy Roman emperors and Carlos V, Saint Maurice. These Moors were traveling, circumnavigating the earth prior to the European. King James, when he established Jamestown, Virginia, the colony through his corporation, through the Virginia Charter, through England, and they were sending weed and tobacco from the Americas over to England, getting rich off of money, off of corporation. Understand, these was Negroes. So we look at the Southern Cross, what takes place in the winter solstice, and the first boat or the ark. And I showed you how during the Southern Crossing, winter solstice, the orcas, the whales, we understand the orcas in the ark, and the 4 cubits of the solar, the 4 cubits represented the 4 quarters of heaven. So we understand the pairs of the 4s of the pantheons, the octenary, the 1 of 7 cubics. So we understand Hippopotamus, the ark of the Israelites, was brought out of Egypt by Moses, probably used by him and the high priest at On. The priest of On. When we look at the Western Hemisphere, the New World, and we look at Amarok or Amarocco or all of these terms in America, understand that this prime meridian, or during the time of Cancer, this line of Cancer, this prime meridian separated the old world from the new world. For Amarocco in the Western Hemisphere, Europeans, until the age of discovery, were blocked from crossing over to the Western Hemisphere. Understand the Carthaginians during the Punic Wars, before Rome titled Africa from Ophir. Let's understand this from its prehistoric text. When we look at Narmer or Nimrod or the Scorpion King, you gotta understand the West and in the Western Hemisphere and the crossing from the West over to the East to India and to these regions of the Asiatic. So the mighty one, when we look at Emmanuel or Emmanuel, Amun El, the hidden El. You look at the land of the north and this location of the mighty and Teotihuacan. We understand the ancient Canaanites, prehistoric Canaan, land of Canaan.